Hello and welcome to my talk about method validation in the digital lab. This talk explores method validation in the digital lab with integrated systems. We will address challenges like system boundaries, data formats, APIs, and cloud-based security concerns. Learn how to overcome these obstacles with the right tools and techniques for seamless digital solutions. Our key topics will be system integration challenges, cloud-based transition and security, effective digital solutions. Collecting validation data from various lab systems often involves navigating multiple challenges, including different data formats, programming APIs, and complex workflows that hinder system integration. With many modern systems shifting to the cloud, additional IT boundaries and security concerns arise. We will demonstrate how to overcome these challenges by leveraging the right tools and techniques to achieve seamless and effective digital solutions. But first we will start with an introduction to method validation. Analytical method validation work is based on a variety of guidelines and requirements. ICH, USB, EPJ, DIN, ISO, FDA, NVIS, and others. All these are important guidelines that should be implemented in a good method validation solution. These guidelines define the basics of validation work, the purpose, the scope, and what to do. What do we need for our work? The objective of the validation of an analytical procedure is to demonstrate that it is suitable for its intended purpose. Efficiency and data integrity are the most important requirements for method validation software solutions. What does that mean and how can it be achieved? In terms of time from planning to final report, in terms of good and compliant output. Guidelines to be translated into validation workload. We call them checkpoints to create and structure validation projects. Your testing workload is defined by your accreditation authority, your customers, your SOPs, or your personal ambitions. In any case, the testing workload must be well defined and not random. It must be clear why a specific workflow as well as acceptance checking has been selected. This workflow definition is established as a validation plan that needs to be approved prior to data acquisition start. The workflow should be well defined. This should be done in your SOP document. Easy to understand and easy to follow. Guided by wizards, assistants, to-do lists. Eliminating the need to use unvalidated tools. So no pocket calculator, no Excel, no slide ruler. A validated calculation framework is mandatory, but we need more. Pre-configured or predefined interfaces that are connectors to all important systems, result sets, well-defined output with no random changes, layouts, corporate identity including logos, headers, and cover pages, summaries, easily summarizing a validation project's main results, formulas, optional report elements for better documentation. But validation projects should not only contain calculations, but all data integrity related info, that is, full 21 CFR Part 11 compliance. Full compliance to 21 CFR Part 11 is mandatory, or to an equivalent regulation like EU GMP Annex 11. Data protection can be guaranteed by software access levels, like logins, roles, or departments, and checksum protected backend databases like SQL servers. The whole workflow must be completely tracked by means of audit trails, all activities in detail, as well as revision histories, searchable and retrievable. Besides validation and Part 11 compliance certificates, a 21 CFR Part 11 compliance response is mandatory. This compliance response provides detailed answers for the requirements of Part 11. It's a mandatory document when using a software in regulated environments. It is part of your software documentation as well as IQ and OQ protocols and other quality-related paperwork. The key for an optimized workflow is predefining all aspects of typical method validation work by workflow templates that reduce new projects to a few clicks. Such templates follow your SOPs, contain typical workflows and workloads, and structure your tasks to optimize efficiency and compliance. Communication with your laboratory equipment like CDS, LIMS, ECM, ERP, or DMS should be automatic and easy with manual intervention limited to a minimum. Adopting new or changed workflows should be as easy as possible. Graphical design tools, business process managers, allow user-designed workflows without software modification. Different projects require different workflows that can be selected from predefined designs. System integration challenges. Collecting validation data from various lab systems often involves navigating multiple challenges, including differing data formats, programming APIs, complex workflows, possibly hindering system integration. Hence, full device integration is necessary. Manual data input should be avoided whenever possible. Automatic transfer eliminates the need to control and check manual inputs. All lab systems should be attached to your method validation software solution, like CDS, chromatography data systems, LIMS, lab information management systems, ERP, enterprise resource planning, ECM, enterprise content management, DMS, document management systems. Interfaces connect your validation projects to external data sources. Typical systems can be, as said before, CDS, LIMS, ERP, DMS, and other data providers. Data can be retrieved by application APIs that are application programming interfaces, export formats like XML, XLSX, JSON, or direct database access like Oracle SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, or Postgres. In any case, imported data must be protected, that is, handled as read-only, and logged to an auditable system of your method validation software. Re-importing data must be possible and documented in detail, data before and after, reason for re-importing, and so on. Data is automatically transferred, predefined workflows control data flow, and eliminate input errors. When you start a new project, your starting point is an approved template, so you create a new project. You connect it to a data source like CDS, LIMS, or other systems. You assign and load your data, you will get an automatic data transfer. You do all your calculations, you will get a final report, and this final report can be reviewed and approved and will be exported in all typical and required formats. This is a predefined workflow, making a new validation project as easy as possible. Second, cloud-based transition and security. With many modern systems moving to the cloud, additional IT boundaries and security concerns arise. We have connectivity issues, we have performance issues, we have cross-domain authentication, we have a mixture of cloud vendors and external service providers. We'll start with connectivity issues. On-premise installations have all systems local. That means we have the same network, so all systems are internal on-premise. We have an easier firewall configuration. We have simpler monitoring and intrusion detection and prevention. We have the same authentication levels as servers, like AD and LDAP. We have simpler single sign-on configuration, and it's easier to establish advanced authentications, like biometric measures. So in the end, we have an easier virus inspection approach, a better endpoint security. We have performance issues. That means we have lower network bandwidth from local to cloud. We have additional protocol overhead when implementing protocols like HTTPS, SSH, or VPN for connection security. We have higher network latency. So for example, when you're accessing local systems, you're normally better than 1 millisecond. When you're accessing cloud servers from local, it is normally more than 10 milliseconds, so it's a factor of 10. Systems interfacing each other have much longer round trips for the data packages, so decreasing application performance. As a result, the user experience might decrease. We have cross-domain authentication, which means managing security in a cloud environment can be more challenging. We have more and different interfaces to manage users and permissions. We have sophisticated authentication measures that are, in that case, more difficult to implement, like biometrics or smart cards. We have transport security needed to protect streams of data. For cloud system communication with on-premise analytical data systems, access or result files or APIs, programming interfaces. Communication tunnels need to be established, like SSH or VPN, again increasing latency and decreasing user experience. Vendors and service providers. Multiple vendors might be involved or necessary with cloud service for analytical data systems, acquisition of data, limited method validation software, processing of data, databases, office applications, increasing administrative resources and complicating responsibilities. 3. Effective digital solutions. Possible problems are complex configuration and administration, especially during transition phase from on-premise to cloud. Multiple clouds from various vendors with vendor dependencies. Security is more difficult, protection of your intellectual property. Costs difficult to evaluate, decreased bandwidth and increased communication latency between systems, reduced user experience. But on the other hand, we have also various benefits. Better resource scaling and higher flexibility, easier collaboration, data access possible from everywhere, internet connection provided, contextually defined RPO, recovery point objective, and RTO, recovery time objective times, backup management. Systems easier to restore in case of attacks. And this means better protection against data loss and significantly reduced internal IT resources necessary. So what is our summary for method validation in the digital lab? Method validation solutions with full system integration require interfaces to all necessary data sources, typically CDS or LIMS. When moving to cloud-based installations, various, mostly technical problems must be solved. The benefits are numerous. Better scaling and communication, high resiliency against attacks, combined with less internal IT costs. A good user experience should be always in focus. Resources must be adequate to get near local application performance. Thank you very much for your attention and your time. In case of questions, feel free to contact me. Here you can see my email address and our company homepage. Thank you very much for your time.